welcome to this week's video, and it is the long awaited Mermay 2021 sketchbook tour. As always, I decided to do all my mermaids on toned craft paper. This is just a Hobbycraft scrapbook. I found that working on toned paper for Mermay has been an awful lot of fun throughout the years, and I've been trying out different mediums with it. And this year I decided to do gouache. This is the long sought after jelly gouache by Himi. There are a few different brands that do jelly gouache, but if you've never seen them before, they're essentially like pots of ready-made gouache. And as you can see, this is a very well loved part. I use this all the way through Mermay, as well as using some acrylic pens for like cleanup. I used the Thule Arts brand and I used the Posca pens brand as well. And for the full list of equipment, as always, it is listed down below. But I had a lot of really fun experiences with gouache this year, and I really wanted to play around with lots of fun mediums. And my aim every single time I do a art challenge each month is to improve on something. So this year I didn't actually have a prompt list. I decided to just go with whatever I felt with on the day. Now, I didn't completely fill this sketchbook. As you can see, there's a few blank pages at the end, but I'll show you what all the swatches look like on this paper. So at the top here we have the Himi gouache, here we have the Turner acrylic gouache, which is this beautiful pastel palette, and at the bottom here we have my Pebeo gouache as well. And this was so that I could see what the tonal range looked like already on this paper. Now, this paper, it is okay for wet medium. It isn't the best, but considering we're playing around with a new medium, I thought it'd be really fun. So now that I'm done with all that, let's actually go through and show you what I did for this year's Mermay. So first up is this piece. This was like my first piece actually just playing around with the gouache, and it's not in particular my favorite. I like the concept, but the first thing I found out was it was really difficult to have, like, it had like either really deep tones and really light tones, but I really struggled to get mid tones with gouache, and that was something that I realized as I was playing around. I tried different opaque styles. I really like this one actually. I like this one because the concept is really cute. It's crab meal. But I really liked the lighter to the darker, like how I was able to get like different effects with this. This is one of my favorites. I actually really like how I managed to do like this watered down effect, and that was really simple to do. What I did was I layered down the gouache color first, so I layered down this orange and then put a wash of blue on top, so I was able to get that faded effect. I really love this concept a lot and cannot wait to revisit this in the future. This is sleeping in the lily pads. Now, this one's not my favorite, but you know, it's a cool concept, and this is a thing that I like to say about any of these illustrations in here. They are finished, not perfect, as in like they're a finished illustration, they're not exactly perfect. So some of these are much better than others, and some of them was just me playing around with the medium, or some days where I didn't really have as much time to play around with it. I mean, when you're doing the challenge Mermay in the middle of a shop launch month, it gets a little dicey. This one is one of my favorites. This is actually based on a song called The Soldier Poet King by the Oh Hellos, and this is sort of like the concept that I had, sort of like King Arthur's Mermaid, Lady of the Lake with the giant sword, and I love this. And that shiny gouache is done with the Pebeo gouache. I really like this. I love the colors as well. I had so much fun making this. This was a mixture, so this was like a flat layer of the gouache, and like the fluorescent layers that you see on top, and these yellow layers are done with the acrylic pens. I found that I was able to create some really beautiful layering effects using the two, and I really enjoyed like playing around with the two, because I was able to get like a flat layer of gouache down and then sort of like mix and match between what I already know. I'm a mixed media artist, so I like to play around with a lot of different mediums, and this was like sort of like, you know, beginnings there. This is a redo. I'm not happy with this at all. I like the concept, it's just not executed the way I would like it. I don't like the face. I like the positioning, but I don't like the face. I think if I was to redo it, I would reuse this really beautiful greeny blue colour that we've got in the tail. That way that colour would relate back. The hat is cool. But the one thing I found with the gouache was that I wasn't able to get as much detail as I wanted, because I would normally play around with Polychromos or Prismacolor pencils on this. And as you can see, the paper does not hold wet medium very well. This one has to be one of my favorites yet again. There's quite a few in here that I really like. What I did was I thinned out the lines on the faces to make it look like the light was glowing brightest here, and then deepening the shadows and the line work in between. The line work's actually done here with just some pencils, just to bring that softness back in. This one was done with a mixture of Polychromos, the Himi gouache, and the acrylic pen. Sorry, my brain was not working then. Sometimes I can't, like I've reiterated this before, getting control with the gouache was a little bit difficult for me, and I think towards the end I really gelled with it, but you know, some days it works and some days it doesn't. The colours are really beautiful and bright on here, but in order to get the dull tones I would have had to mix in a lot of colours and play around with it, and I was just using a lot of these colours straight out, but I really love this coral baby. She's so pretty. This is based on the statue of the Little Mermaid, the Hans Christian Andersen novel. There is a very famous statue, and I can't remember off the top of my head whereabouts it is. There's a very famous statue of the Little Mermaid overlooking the sea, and this was sort of like a reimagining, like fairy sort of mermaid. I like the colours in it, and that's pretty much it. I love how soft this one is. Ugh. This is just sleepy. This is just all gouache. So what I did was I strengthened the colours in the background and softened all the colours in the foreground to create this really softy effect. This was just all gouache and playing around with the mediums, and then on top I used acrylic pen to sort of create the line work. Now, Mermaid Challenge Month isn't for everyone, and challenge months aren't for everyone in general, just because doing a drawing every single day can be challenging. It's a challenge to draw every single day, and that's if you've got a lot of work on. And some days your drawings are going to turn out better than others. Like I sometimes have days where I have days where I don't draw just because I'm doing admin work, or I'm packing orders, or I'm replying to emails, or I'm like editing. Sometimes I just don't have the time to, like, you know, do drawing every single day. But this was just, it was sort of like very self-indulgent in a way, especially like coming off my, like, I was coming off like a really bad mental health dip and art dip, and this was just really self-indulgent and really fun to do. This one's one of my favorites, by the way. I love like this Ursula vibe that we've got going, deep sea mermaid. Ugh, I love this one. But challenge months aren't for everyone. Look at this one. The concept is really cute, but in comparison to some of the other ones, it's clearly not all there. Like, that's the previous page to that one, and like, it's one of those, like, you're not going to be able to create perfect pieces every day. And if you are wanting to do a challenge month, and I have said this before in some other videos, if you want to do a challenge month, the best thing you can do is limit your time frame. So limit how much time you are going to spend on the illustration a day. Maybe your max is an hour to 2 hours, and that is the amount of time that you're allowed to spend on that illustration a day. And when it hits that time cap, you do not do any more. This forces yourself to not only slightly work quicker, but it also forces you to, well, take your time and take a little bit of time. This could be your warm-up for the day, this could be getting yourself sorted. Challenge months are there because they're a challenge month, but if you don't have time for a challenge month, it's fine, you can do it another time. This one's really cute. I love the shapes in this. I love the colour palette as well. I really like this one. That Pebeo gold is just heavenly, isn't it? But no, not everything that you will do in a challenge month is going to be perfect. There's like pieces in this that I'm not very happy with. I like the concepts, but the execution is just not chef's kiss. It's not 100% what I need, you know? Like, I really like this concept, but it was not executed properly. Hello, Bella. Bella's come to say hi. But it's not executed properly. Like, this doesn't work, but it's a fun concept, and I like the idea, and I can always revisit it if I want to. And like, some of your concepts are going to be good, and some concepts are going to be bad. And even if you say take on a challenge month by only doing, say, 1 illustration a week, that is absolutely fine. But art challenges aren't for everyone, and don't feel guilty if you can't participate in an art challenge, because I see a lot of people get themselves like really downhearted that they can't participate in something like Mermay. I really wanted to participate in an art challenge called Unicorn, which is for this month actually, but I've decided against it because Mermay was really fun, but drawing every single day can be a bit of a challenge, and I already have projects that I really want to work on. Before I'm gonna completely derail that, I really like this one so much. This is based on like cabaret, like pin-up styles, and these are just like stick-on beads that I've had for ages, and I am obsessed with them. I really love how it makes the illustration really pop, and I think it looks really, really fun. Sorry, my cat is completely playing around. This one is based on the deep sea monsters in Subnautica. I was actually watching Jacksepticeye's playthrough of Subnautica Deep Zero because I really love those games, but I don't have time to play them. And I was just obsessed with the idea of like deep sea monsters, and that's what this one is sort of based on. I really love the glitter. That's actually a dual metallic, which is this one actually, which is a pentel hybrid dual metallic, and it's really nice. I just really love how it's subtle. It's so pretty. This one's based on a story of deep sea mermaids again. An oozy, mermaid, slimy one, based on the song Toxic Love from Fern Gully. I really love how vibrant this is. This, yet again, is just the Himi gouache. Like, look how vibrant these colours are, especially on toned paper. If you can get a decent toned paper that will handle the wet medium, it is phenomenal. Like, but it is going to buckle, unfortunately, because it is not made for wet medium. Based on Song of the Sea, which is a fantastic animation by the studio Cartoon Saloon, which if you have not seen it, highly recommend it. Their newest animated film, Wolfwalkers, which I want to do a video on creating a character for Wolfwalkers, is phenomenal, and I highly recommend anyone check out their animation because I am obsessed. This was Vaporwave. This is based on like 1980s like sort of aesthetic, like cyberpunk sort of thing. Because I was finding that with the gouache I was getting lots of really bright colours, I thought, you know, let's just lean into that. The line work with this is just done with Polychromos pencils to keep the really soft effect that we've got going on here. And this one is my final one. I just really wanted to keep a blue palette as if like the mermaid looks like they've come out of the sea themselves. And that is a mimic, yes. I was like, oh, what if Dungeons and Dragons was only sea? I'm actually really looking forward to the Adventure Zones Ever Sea. I've been listening to the world making episodes of that. I'm very excited. And that is my Mermay. That is my Mermay sketchbook. I hope you found like some of these illustrations interesting to look at. You can really see like some of my highs and some of my lows. But it's that old motto, finished, not perfect. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Join me next Thursday for a fresh new video. And make sure to always check out the Discord, because I always show sneaky peeks of new projects that I'm working on, as well as what video is to come next. Ooh. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Keep drawing, love what you do, and as always folks, stay creative.